let's go!
Bomb novels. Quick! Final attack!
Present the favorite of towns near and far.
Jana memorized the whole book. Whoa! It's so cute.
Wow, this is amazing.
Come on, let's go, let's go!
I got bomb novels. Quick! Final attack!
I present the favorite of towns near and far.
Jana memorized the whole book. Whoa! It's so cute.
Wow, this is amazing.
Can you see the half moon rising from the sea so dark and wide? Far beyond the east horizon lies an island on the tide, where the land was fair and plenty, and the queen was fairer still. And she walked beside her noble king on the green of risen hill. Did you see the old moon sinking on the sea so dark and wide? Far beyond the waves are breaking on the shores of the shining isle. But the forest burned and blackened, and the land is ash and flame. And the king, they say, is fallen, and his warden brother slain. But the half-moon light is given by a sun no eye can see, and the day will conquer night again by the Maker's good decree. And beneath the smoke and ruin, lo, the land is fertile still, and a king one day will sing again on the green of risen hill, on the green of risen hill.
Hey everybody, Chris Wall here. Welcome to our Thursday night live stream. I am live to you from our studio conference room, and so it's going to sound a little different, but I have some cool stuff to share. Obviously, we're so excited. The soundtrack is finally available. Yeah! Now, depending upon where you live, it may go live while we're live. I don't know, but it's going to be out there in the world. So sorry for the delay, but hopefully it was worth it because now we're on all the platforms with some cool new features. In case you're curious, our family loves seeing lyrics and being able to follow along. That's going to show up in the next day or so. There's a whole thing where it has to release and then we get the lyrics. And we may be able to have a karaoke feature as well. So anyways, the soundtrack is the big news for tonight. And we're so glad to have you. Hope you all are having a great week. Since we announced it, you guys have been out there just kind of commenting on that the soundtrack is finally coming, and a lot of you have been listening to the soundtrack on YouTube because we have the YouTube music version out there. But Hannah Flinner, your comment, finally, I know, right? I love the music in the show so much. Some parts give you the feeling of an ancient tale, while other parts make one feel like they just walked into a small one-horse town that grows the best climbing trees, which reminds her of her family church camp. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we were so excited to put the soundtrack together with all the feeling of the organic Nashville scene. Tonight, you're going to get to hear from a lot of the artists involved in making the soundtrack. Can't wait to introduce them here coming up. Plus, we have some other Season 2 stuff to show you, a little something at the end, and then a special contest that we'll talk about in just a minute. So thank you all for hopping in here. Glad to see everybody getting in. We had a couple other comments this week that were fun. Jovan Gomez says, in regards to the soundtrack, Jurgen's tune sung by Lily. It was my first song my family heard, and we all knew the show was something special. Yeah, Romy Faye, who recorded for Lily, got to perform that one in the show and just did a brilliant job. Armelyn's song. This is Andrew's performance. You know, he plays Armelyn the Bard, his singing voice for this, and then wrote that song specifically for that episode. And then Nia singing to Poto in the brilliant battle scene as a backdrop was brilliant. We were so excited to put that together, and you know, one of the things we challenged Jody when she was performing is to, what would it look like to make this Nia's performance, not Jody's performance, right? Jody's a brilliant performer and wonderful, and she was all in, wanted to be Nia in this moment, and then of course in the epic battle that's happening. So this comment, Just a Fairy Story, says more Arcadian Wild and more Wingfeather at the same time, plus the legend Jody Benson. Can't wait. Yeah, I think you're gonna love seeing that. And then this is great. We've been really enjoying the music, says Crystal, in our household. Whimsical, beautiful, sometimes soothing, sometimes dramatic. It encourages quiet learning in this homeschool family. Oh, thank you. I was just actually talking to our animation team. We are deep in season 2 working on that, but we were talking about excitement for the soundtrack. We're all excited to have it out too. And they were commenting on, like, I just wish some of the tracks were longer, and I agree. I wish some of our soundtrack pieces were longer. A lot of them, I want to just kind of keep it going. And then Logan Drillin, thank you so much for putting this out. I'm glad I can put it on my Spotify playlist now. Yeah, we're actually, you may find Wingfeather Saga in a few playlists. We've been working with the wonderful distribution team and helping find some places to get us some playlists out there, so that's pretty fun. But yeah, the soundtrack's out. That's the big news tonight. And it's out there on Spotify, Apple Music, and lots of other platforms. So you can go to, this is really simple, angel.com/wingfeathermusic. So angel.com/wingfeathermusic, and you can find wherever you listen to music. Hopefully it's there. If it's not, hit in the comments if there's a platform that you listen to music and you don't find it. Now, again, it may not be live as we are doing this live. It may come up at the end or sometime overnight, into Friday. Some platforms kind of do it slightly different, but it will be out there. Yeah. We have a lot of cool stuff to show you in the live stream tonight, including some lyric videos that we're excited to show you. We know the music has a significant impact on our community, and some of you fans have reacted in that way and telling us about that. So we'd love to hear more from you on what you think of the music in our series. And so the team had an idea. Wouldn't it be fun to do a sing-off? A lot of you have been posting videos over the months and even years while some of these songs have been out. That is you performing some of your favorite music from Wingfeather that you've heard from either Andrew and others. And so we're putting together a little thing. We're going to give away some of our cool merch. We've got things like tote bags and bumper stickers. These ones are some of my favorites that are out there in the store. We have a really cool little sticker pack. Actually, that's actually funny. So when I say a little sticker pack, it's because the stickers are actually really little. So really little. There's a geef. We actually have a flapperfly. We have this is one of my favorites, a squealing little guy, squealing. But these sticker packs and things like that, we're going to put together in a bit of a merch kit. And we want to hear your version of My Love Has Gone Across the Sea, this beautiful, happy, sad song that Andrew wrote, and of course, Jody performs. And you get to perform it. So go ahead and record a version of it and put it out there wherever you want to post on social media. And the hashtag will be Wingfeather Sing Off. Hashtag Wingfeather Sing Off. And that way we can find it. And we're going to do it for a couple weeks and look for your performances of, and then we're going to announce the winners on an upcoming live stream. First place is going to get a really cool Fight the Fangs baseball cap. You've seen this. I don't have mine with me. I think my teenage son stole it. But it's a really cool flat brim Fight the Fangs cap. We can show an image of that, I think, live stream. Yes, thank you. Second place is going to get a Wingfeather water bottle. I actually do have those. So we just got these in the store a couple weeks ago. We have two versions. We have a blue one that says Wingfeather Saga. These are legit Nalgene bottles, so like they're really well made. And then you have one that's kind of a darker color with the W logo on it. But both these are in there, so second place guy is going to get one of these. And then the third place is going to get a pack of the bumper stickers, which I showed you earlier, which includes Beware the Toothed Cows. And this version of the Beware the Toothed Cows. I will tell you, I've actually used some of our sticker packs on if you see my car around Franklin, Tennessee, you'll see that I have some of these vinyls on the glass in my back. And they've held up really well to the weather and all. I wasn't sure how they'd work. A lot of you have been putting these on like water bottles and laptops and iPads and things like this, and they're really fun for people to see and start a little conversation about your favorite show. So all of this stuff, whenever you guys do go, whether you win this as part of the competition or go purchase merch, is supporting our show and helping us to make more episodes and more seasons. And we can't thank you enough for your support. It means a whole lot. We love the story. I know all the crew here love the story. We know you guys love the story, and you support us and we get to make it. All right, this contest is going to go for a couple weeks. It is open for 13 or older. To enter, and again, tag that hashtag Wingfeather Sing Off, and we'll look forward to seeing your versions of these great songs. Okay, can't wait to get you into this. Again, I've got some fun stuff, so stay to the end because I've got some more stuff I want to show you. But for now, we're going to take a little tour and have a chat with a number of the artists and producers and writers and so forth that helped us bring this soundtrack to life. So, without further ado, please meet Kurt Heinecke, one of our composers for Wingfeather Saga Season 1.
Hey, greetings. My name is Kurt Heinecke. My official title is the Director of Music on the Wingfeather Saga series. I'm also one of the composers, along with people like Ben Shive and Arcadian Wild. So it's fantastic to be involved in this and be on this team. I want to thank all of you huge fans that have supported us. It's been fantastic. And of course, Angel Studio, and just how they have come alongside us and really driven this to where we've gotten to it. So Angel Studios, thank you so much. As the director of music and composer, I get to do a lot of fun things with this. One of the things I got to do was help create the whistle harp. Now, the whistle harp was in the books already, and it's very important in the books. But what does that look like and sound like? Well, they've decided what it looks like. And unfortunately, I'm not good enough to be able to play both the harp and the whistle at the same time. So I did the next best thing that I could. I actually took one of my Irish whistles like this that you're going to hear probably on some of the soundtrack coming up. I play that, I put it down, and then I pick up my harp. This is a little Irish harp, and sometimes it's a medieval, even in the Bible, they've used things like the lyre, which is a smaller version of this. So these have been around for thousands of years, the smaller harps like this. So I play the part on the Irish whistle, and then I come back and I play the same part on my harp here. So that's what you get. Anytime you hear the whistle harp, this is what it is. So, time to play a little game tonight. And what we're going to do is we've grabbed a few of, actually, I don't know which ones are coming up. They've grabbed a few of their favorite clips from the soundtrack, and they're going to play them. And together we're going to try to guess two things. Guess where this is in the movie, in the video, in the story. What action is happening? Where are they? Because we keep talking in the score about, either a location or a person or an emotion. That's what our themes and our score are doing, is we're helping you know what's coming up with a character, a scene, an emotion. So either tell us if you can figure out, oh, I remember where this is in the video, or if you're really smart, you might know the title of it. Some of our titles we've known for years. Others we kind of had to come up with a title because it was going on the soundtrack. We would say, oh, this is the theme for so-and-so. Well, we actually came up with a title for it. So if you know the title, you get bonus points. So we're going to take a listen here and see if we can figure this out. Roll tape.
My love has gone across the sea to find a country far and fair. He sailed into the gilded west.
Well, they started with the easiest one in my mind. My love has gone across the sea. The title is right there, and that's the incomparable Jodie Benson singing that, who, as you all know, was the voice of The Little Mermaid. The interesting thing about this is Andrew wrote this tune years ago. He's sung it many times himself, sometimes with his daughter Sky. They had done an acoustic version of it years ago and asked me to create a cinematic style arrangement of it. So that's what you heard a couple years ago when we first came out with, when we started talking about this whole Wingfeather series. And I was very excited to get to do this big cinematic version of that. So what Ben Shive did is we took that version, we had Jody sing over it, and then we totally stripped out my parts and replaced them with some fresher parts, but then there's still some of my parts in there too. So it's kind of fun to hear the balance between the old and new. Things like you'll hear this whistle played anytime you hear a little whistle part in there, that's this playing on that. So it was a highlight that day to get to be in the studio with Jody to record this. And she's just such a great voice and great character, and it's so exciting to see her involved in this. Oh, okay. So yeah, I can totally see us where we're at in this one. We're in the library, and we're looking through books. So we wanted a little bit more of this little bit of a classical feel to it. So it starts with a harpsichord. I think that's a mandolin that then comes in after that. And so yeah, that would be probably library, and that one is Books and Crannies. All right, this is classic Arcadian Wild. You hear all these cool acoustic instruments just jumping around with these melodies. It's hard to predict where it's going. And there's some action going on. We see the kids running around. I think they're being chased by the toothy cow. I think that's what we use that one for. So I'm going to go with chased by a toothy cow on that. Yeah, that's just such a sweet, innocent tune. We've got the mandolin playing there, and then the guitar comes picking in. And so that's Arcadian Wild doing that again. I think I would consider that the love theme for the kids, as they're taking a little interest in each other. I think that's what you could call that. And I didn't know the title of this. I don't know that we had a title for this until we placed it on the soundtrack. So it is now called the Silver Moon Bloom, which I think is a wonderful little title for that. Okay, next one. Hey, that's me that you heard there playing the whistle part there. That's a little heavier, a little more serious piece. And I think that's one that we kind of combined different elements into a little medley that represents the jewels of Vanera, because that's an important part of this story that gets a little more serious. So I don't know where you'd say that happens in the episode. I don't remember, but it happens throughout. So that, and we're going to hear that theme throughout. But yes, that was the Jewels of an Era. Next one. Yes, the majesty of that, the wonder is Pete's Castle, where we're kind of exploring as we're seeing the Pete's Castle for the first time, going, wow, that's pretty cool. And so the location would be Pete's Castle, and the title would be Pete's Castle. Very cool. Okay, last one. Here we go.
Dark in the deep, down beneath the earth you go already fast to sleep.
Wow, I love that song. That is Arcadian Wild at their best, and that's Jurgen's tune. And I'm kind of like, memories go back when we did the premiere here in Nashville. They actually performed that song live, and it was incredible. I mean, they're so good on live. They tour with Andrew, and this is this may be, it is probably my favorite tune on the soundtrack, because it's so beautiful. The harmonies, the way it interweaves with the voices. It's just so creatively done. I mean, I love My Love Has Gone Across the Sea too, because of my background with that song, and that's got a lot of emotions. But yeah, Jurgen's tune is just, there was one tune that I would say, this represents us. That's a perfect one to play for somebody. Okay, so how'd you do? Did you keep score? Who won? So yeah, so that's just a taste of the variety of music that we have on the soundtrack and on this series. So go out and get that soundtrack.
Hey everybody, Andrew Peterson here. This is my buddy Ben Shive. We are in the Beehive, which is his studio here in Nashville, Tennessee, and it's a studio where I have spent a lot of time. We recorded Resurrection Letters Volume 1 right in here, and what year was that? 2018?
I have no idea.
17 or 18? I feel like time flies. Anyway, it's a great space, and this is where a lot of the stuff. Didn't the Arcadian come in here and record?
Yeah.
So right on the other side of the camera is the studio booth where those guys were recording stuff. So we're here because we are releasing the soundtrack of season 1, and that is very exciting. And the soundtrack is beautiful. And so Ben, can you tell them a little bit about what you did? So I'll say this before you do. So we had this collaboration between 3 people, 3 smart people, actually more.
3 entities.
3 entities. It was Kurt Heineke, who you've met. I think he's you might have just seen him on this live stream, who's a genius, wonderful man, musical genius, but he's done a ton of work in television and film. And then Isaac Horn from Arcadian Wild, and then Lincoln and Bailey, the rest of the band. Isaac wrote a lot of the themes and pieces, and the band performed a lot of the stuff. Kurt, did a lot of composing too. You compose a fair bit of stuff too.
Yeah.
And then your job, you were the music producer.
Yep.
So tell them what that means.
Well, I felt like when I was doing my job, actually the best was when I was just making sure that Isaac had what he needed to be able to feel supported while he composed. So I think at first we were trying to, he would come up with cues, and we were trying to figure out whether they were right for the show or not. And so some of that involved hearing from Andrew and the rest of the team whether they were the right thing. And there was a point at which the only reason I ended up writing any cues was because there was a point early on where it was we need to make some deadlines. So I kind of stepped in and wrote some things.
Oh, yeah.
But when it was really working the best was when after that season, Isaac kind of hit a stride of understanding what the show was supposed to sound like, and everything he wrote from that point on was just great. So
yeah, he's super awesome.
Yep. So I felt like it was just kind of and some of the producing was also just making sure that the cues sounded really good. So there would be times where we had to use, because it's on a budget, we had to use a lot of sample libraries for instead of actual orchestra in a room, there's basically keyboard orchestra, but these days that sounds really good, but you have to work with it to make it sound good. So that ended up being my job. When somebody sent me a cue that they had written orchestration on, if I didn't feel like it sounded good enough for the record, then I had to be okay, send me the information that you send me the parts and I'll make them sound good.
So didn't you, whenever we kind of finished the soundtrack, gathered all the bits and pieces together?
Yeah.
It went to you for like a once over, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's when I did even more of that stuff. Like there was not that it doesn't matter, but like when there's dialogue going on and when it's in the show, you can get away with a lot more. It's like fake strings can sound a little fake if there's a whole scene happening.
Yeah, if there's a battle scene happening.
But once it was time to put it out as a record, then it was like people are actually going to be listening, and so it needs to sound that much better. So yeah, when it was time to get the soundtrack ready, that's when I really had to earn my keep, because then I was going through and even sometimes being like, okay, this cue is just not interesting enough for a record. It was interesting enough for a scene, but it's not interesting enough for a record. So I would go through and just kind of add some things.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have any favorite bits that you can think of?
I do. I'm trying to think what my favorite of Isaac's cues are. Oh, I wish I could. We just titled them all, and so I don't have them clear in my mind. I think when I like Isaac's cues best is when they have all the like the Americana elements in them, but then he just found this really great way of putting orchestration with that, and I just think it's awesome.
Yeah, I love there are quite a few things like, I don't think we've talked about this on the live stream before, but like when did you come up with the cue for Pete the Sock Man? And like I remember loving it right out of the gate because there's this real strong dissonance. Yeah, there's like notes rubbing up against each other that shouldn't really be there. Yeah, to kind of convey Pete's state of mind. Yeah. The Glipwood Forest theme, was that an Isaac theme?
That I think so. Yeah,
pretty sure that was an Isaac theme. So like something that we plugged in anytime the kids were in Glipwood Forest, just that would give it this element of danger and creepiness. I think my two favorites were the Kurt cue the whole bit for the very last scene.
Oh yeah, is that
that's
Janner's Letter or Tree?
Yeah, something like that.
See, I've got the old names in my head.
Yeah, we've renamed them like 15 times. But yeah, that whole scene was wonderful.
That's amazing.
I also loved the and I think it was you that did this one, the when they go into the weapons chamber and they kind of see it, and there's the horns are playing, and it feels like Goonies.
That's like that same Pete the Sockman cue, but it's slowed way down. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I wanted Pete's cues to have his arc. So it's like there's the ding 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 ding, but then you slow it down, so it's like the. But then when it's in the weapons chamber, it's like. And then it has that section that's like,
I love that so much. I didn't even realize that was the same thing. Yeah. It makes me think of Inception. Remember in Inception it was like, blah, like there's these horns that play. Every time the dream went deeper, like they actually like lowered the thing. Anyway.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's some like musical thing that they did every time the dream was in a deeper state. It was like they would.
That's cool. Is that Hans Zimmer?
Maybe.
I know he does some of the
it's probably
Christopher Nolan stuff.
Okay. Anyway, that's so cool.
Nice.
Well, anyway, we are so excited. I'm very grateful to Ben for all the work that he put into this thing. It wouldn't be what it is without him. And I said that we would try really quickly to sing a little bit of The Green of Risen Hill to celebrate this moment. Let me do this. I have no idea how to. This is gonna be weird. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Can you see the half moon rising from the sea so dark and wide? Far beyond the east horizon lies an island on the tide, where the land was fair and fertile, and the queen was fairer still, and she walked beside her noble king on the green of risen hill. Yeah, those chords are way prettier than the ones that I wrote when I wrote the thing. So thanks everybody. last thing I will say. Oh, I meant to tell you guys this, that when Chris told me, hey, we need a song for Armel and the Bard, I was like, oh no, what is that even going to sound like? Because I'm pretty folky, so it's like I don't use weird modes and stuff. But I remembered being in England last year, and we were in this little pub called the No Name Pub in Hampshire, which is near English Labrie, which is why we were there. And it's called the No Name Pub because it's been there for like 600 years, but there's no sign. It's called the White Horse, but there's no sign, so the locals call it the No Name. And so anyway, we needed a pub that looked like, they were like, hey, what should Shaggy's Tavern look like on the inside? So I had all these pictures of the No Name Pub, and I sent them to the art department. I was like, can you make the pub look like this pub on the inside? So Shaggy's Tavern looks like this pub. And then I remembered, oh, when we were there last, there was this band playing all these like old British Isles folk tunes. And this, just like in the movies, this guy stood up in the back and he was like, and Johnny rode across the ocean to the place. Anyway, I found that it sounded better than that, but I found the video. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe Armel and the Bard's song can be like that. So it's not exactly the same. I didn't rip it off. But it was like, gave me the idea for the thing. So that's where the Green of Risen Hill came from. And that's the end of our segment of this live stream. Thank you to Ben Shive.
Thank you.
Kurt Heineke and the rest of the music team. See you guys later. Bye.
Hey, everybody. This is Isaac from the Arcadian Wild. Thank you so much for watching the Wingfeather Saga. Isn't it so good? It's so good. Man, we had a blast doing this. And so many people have poured themselves, heart and soul, into this show for a long time. And I'm just so proud of everybody that has worked on this. And I'm proud and honored that our band got to play a small part in bringing the show to you guys. And it was an absolute blast. There was a bit of a learning curve. We're a folk band, right? Like we write songs and we're road dogs, and we just drive around and play shows for people. This is completely new territory, and I'm really glad that we had Kurt and Ben to kind of help us along. Chris reached out to us back in 2017 whenever they did the short film Proof of Concept pilot. And I was still in college at the time. And that was the first time we met Kurt, got to work with him. And it was cool this time around to look back on what we did then and say, okay, what worked? What didn't work? What are the things that we can take and like build upon and make better? And man, I think where we landed is something really special. With the Nashville acoustic instruments at the heart of the score, things stay intimate. They stay grounded and personal. But then those elements are surrounded by the sweeping cinematic movie score moments. And I think that pairing really reflects and echoes the story, especially in this first season. Where we start in this humble seaside town of Glipwood, and as the story progresses, our main characters discover that they are at the heart of this big, massive, magical epic. And for those of you that don't know what is coming next, oh my gosh, buckle up. I'm a fan with you guys, and I just cannot wait to see what they do next. So keep watching and go listen to the score. All right, Lincoln and Bailey and myself are going to play our version of Jürgen's tune. Enjoy. Thanks.
Oh, hello, dark in the deep, down Down beneath the earth you go, go adore fast asleep. Dark alone in the rise again, alluring out, spring abandoned, total well, render green the dying bough. Is the rock where you again fell?
Hi friends, it's Jody Benson, and you may know me as the original singing and speaking voice of Ariel, the Little Mermaid for the Walt Disney Company. But right now I am just so thrilled to be the voice of Nia for our new Wingfeather Saga series, our animated series for the Angel Studios. We release our soundtrack today. It's so exciting, and I'm honored to sing the beautiful song, My Love Has Gone Across the Sea, by our brilliant Andrew Peterson. Recording that song was really emotional for me in the studio. It was hard to get through it without crying. It brought up a lot of emotions for me about connecting to those that I love and what that would feel like if you lose them and when you lose them. It was just breathtaking to sing those lyrics. It's a song of love, a song of deep grace and empathy and care for those that we love. And I love my character of Nia. She is so fierce and so brave and such an incredible mother and an amazing daughter. So congratulations to Wingfeather Saga as we release our soundtrack. It's a really exciting day, and I'm so honored and blessed to be part of this project. And I want to thank each and every one of you, our incredible audience members on our Angel app who support Wingfeather Saga and Angel Studios. So with love to you from Jody and from Nia. Have a blessed day.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So great to hear from each of the artists that have been a part of making this soundtrack. Again, you can go find this, angel.com/wingfeathermusic is the link, and you can go have a listen to this wherever you listen to music. It can be found on Apple Music, Spotify, and others. So there's a good list of places you can find it. Thank you so much for your patience And again, lyrics and other things are going to start adding over the next few days, so it'll all be there to enjoy. Okay, got a couple questions that came in during our live stream, and I want to take some time to answer those. And then I've got a very special couple of things to show you. You want to stay tuned. Don't leave. Trust me. I know it's getting a little bit later, but I've been saving up some things, so stay with me. Okay. First question: is there going to be music in season 2? Yes, as a matter of fact. Not only music that is by the locales, because of course the family's on the run, and so we're going to be going to different locations, and we want to have sound that feels like those locations. We've got some things happening there, but also a special song that we're working on right now. That I can't say much more about, but that's yes, there will be more music. Any updates about season 2 I can share? Yes, as a matter of fact. Behind me is the poster. You guys have all seen this. It's available in the store if you want to go grab that. That Garrett produced this, and it is the family in adventure mode, their new costuming, this sort of thing, and they are at the edge of Fingap Falls. If you know the books, this is kind of a bit of a stunning kind of dead-end moment for the family as they're on the run. And I wanted to show you a little something. So you're wondering, why is this black thing here, huh? Yeah, well, that's because I have some stuff for you. All right, I'm going to wheel this in here. I'm going to show you just a bit more of where we're headed. And so I'm going to put this right here, give you a little walk and talk. Fingap Falls. This is just a fantastic location that Andrew actually had described pretty well in the book. Andrew Peterson, the author, in case you don't know. And then actually did his own illustration of this, and then we took it and kind of built it up the rest of the way. Garrett Taylor, our art director, and his team did a really lovely job building this out. But this has got the river Blap coming into this kind of cascading waterfall, and then crashing through these fingers, if you will, in a bit of an ancient something down there. Super cool, leading to a kind of grassy area to get away. This is going to be a big part of season 2 near the beginning. I'm not going to say which episode, but near the beginning. The other one I wanted to show you is one of our concept versions. This has actually been developed a bit further, but this is one of our concept versions of what a Strander camp might look like. So the Stranders are a group of characters, villains, if I'm honest, who the Wingfeather family encounter very early in season 2, and this is, what that environment looks like. So it's a lot of reclaimed things. These guys are folks who are always finding and keeping things, and so we've got some just found bits of things they've turned into. We've actually made the center of the camp feel like it's the bones of an old ship, with a bit of a Strander chief throne there, and then they're all kind of scattered in a very different kind of space. We've imagined that the Strander camp is like it's along the banks of the Mississippi River, or that kind of thing. It's a different environment than we've been in other places. So that's going to figure in big time in season 2. These are just 2 of the locations that we're working on. And then I'm actually going to scooch this over just a bit more and show you one more thing. We have some characters to show you. So we've shown you the characters as they're in their adventure mode from the back on that poster. But here's what they look like from the front. We've got Lily here in her new kind of leggings, a little shorter skirt, a little easier to run with. Same with Nia, giving her a bit more active ability, like she dropped in at REI or something before they left. Poto's got a different shirt, kind of a little different, more flexibility, honestly, that sort of thing. Janner, we kept his kerchief, that was really important, and then a change up for Tink there. You'll notice that Janner has a little holster now for keeping his sword. That's an important piece for him. So, yeah, cool stuff there, huh? Very excited about that. But that's our sneak on season 2, and wanted you to have a little look there. More coming on season 2. We are deep in production and have lots to share, but we want to get piece at a time here. Someone asked, what's my favorite piece of music from season 1? Honestly, Jody's version of My Love Has Gone Across the Sea, that's always been just a wonderful song. Andrew recorded that years ago, and hearing Jody bring it to life as Nia, and kind of the heart-rending version of it was really wonderful. So that's one of my favorite pieces. As far as the score, I would say one of the Fang themes, the kind of darker themes that we've done with kind of the, it's not quite electric guitar, but kind of that dirty sound is one of those ones stand out to me. Yeah, there you go. All right, a lot of you keep asking how can we support the show, and we're so thankful that you are doing so. But sharing the show, of course, telling your folks about it, or your friends and family, that kind of thing. But the other thing is, obviously, anytime that you are wearing something or going about town, it prompts questions. We've had that as a family. We've got some new merch in the store. You saw this came out a couple weeks ago. I am a huge fan of this, the Fangs of Dang. It's just such a cool shirt. It's the same material as these others, really nice, comfortable stuff. And then if you missed it, we also have a super cool Beware the Toothy Cows. Those are both in the store. There's a back to school bundle right now. And what a better way to bundle than with a tote. We actually have a couple of these around the house and love it. And it's just definitely a conversation starter. This beautiful piece of artwork that Garrett Taylor created. Super cool. And like I said, we've got these really cool sticker packs. We also have a couple cool things coming to the store very soon. A lot of you have been asking about DVD and Blu-ray. That's coming very soon. Can't wait for that. And then I'm going to just slowly lift something up into the screen. I can't show it to you fully, but this is coming to the store very soon. It is something of a book, and it says season 1 on it. That's all you get. But tune in soon. We're going to do a full preview of that. Keep an eye on the store. Can't wait to show you that one. Yes! And of course, if you love the show, we get to share the show for free all over the world. We have people watching it literally all over the world, and we're now got all these new languages. If you haven't noticed, we can now, if you want to have your kids practice some of the languages, we are in Spanish and Portuguese and more in the app. You can just click down and go through it. The cast that performs those versions is fantastic, super fun to listen to. Highly recommend. It's a great way to kind of re-experience the story in another language. We have a group now, I think in South Korea doing it. So like, it's just amazing, all the ways the show's getting around. And all of it's free. We want more people to watch the show and then pay it forward. It's basically saying, hey, here's the show, it's free. If you love this, throw a tip in there, right? It's like a tip jar, if you will, and pay it forward, help support the show. We so appreciate all of you that have done that, and please consider doing that if you haven't. You can do it monthly or one time. That's great. All right, contest is going. Be sure to share your version if you're comfortable with it. Again, it's for 13 and up of My Love Has Gone Across the Sea, and the hashtag is Wingfeather Sing Off. Wingfeather Sing Off. Super fun, and we're going to give away some fun prizes. Okay, Thursdays, like I said, is our live stream day. I know the time of day shifts a little bit. We're trying different things there, but be sure to tune in next Thursday as we get to expand on Roblox. I know a lot of you really enjoy Roblox, getting to explore and build and have fun in that world, and we are going to fully unveil Ankle Jelly Manor. As you know, we've been working on that, had Sammy last week working on showing you what she's building there, and we are ready to open that house and let you into it. So next Thursday, tune in for a live stream there. For now, go listen to the soundtrack, share it with your friends, tell them your favorite song, and we look forward to seeing all the comments on that music being out in the world. Thanks so much for being with us. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
My love has gone across the sea to find a country far and fair. He sailed into the gilded west, and lo, my heart will never rest until my returns to me, or I set out to find him there. Come home, I sing to thee, my love, come home and rest thy head. I'll watch for you the winter long and see Rejoice, my love, and call me blessed. In death, my love, I loved you best.
My name is Kurt Heinecke. I am the, what am I? My name is Kurt Heinecke. I am the music director for Wingfeather Saga. I also write score and help a little bit with the songs. I work with the other guys, Ben Shive and Arcadian Wild.
I'm Isaac Horn, and I play in a folk band called the Arcadian Wild. We operate in as a band in a songwriting capacity.
When they brought me in, it was to, I would say, to help people like Arcadian Wild who have written some incredible songs, but they're not used to fitting them into a picture.
So with songwriting, you're telling the whole story with the music. With picture, the music is a completely more like a supportive role.
This would be Isaac himself telling me, man, I feel like I need to write this song and fill in every crack and crevice. And I would come in and say, hey, what if we simplify this? What if we use, these 5 notes make a great theme. What if we just stretch that out? And then once he saw, that's how that fits in with the picture, and it makes it more cinematic, we started hearing these little themes and those sorts of things.
Once we kind of got into that mindset and started sending things that were working, then he would take that and he'd make it sound like a movie. We went from this kind of small, quiet, acoustic band, barely breaks 5 decibels, to this sort of epic, huge sound.
But then the nice thing with this is not everything's big and epic. We can really bring it down, very intimate inside the cottage, and hear just these individual instruments telling a story.
It's intimate, small, and personal at the same time that it's big and epic and sweeping.
There can be a kind of magic in music.
I don't think there's any magic in my music. What's your secret?
The goal was always for it to feel and sound like Nashville.
Isaac, what we need is something that sounds kind of Scandinavian, but kind of Irish, but also a little bit cinematic, but also kind of like Nashville. And because we wanted it to kind of sound like where we're from.
We were using words like Americana, Appalachian, country, bluegrass, but then we started blending it with early European, Scandinavian.
I think if you would have told me that's what we were going for, I would have laughed and said, there's no way, those things don't go together.
And it was amazing to me that he came back with a song that's in episode 1 called Jürgen's Tune. And it was like, it's kind of Scandinavian and kind of Irish and kind of like Nashville, and it's kind of cinematic.
That's enough.
And for us, music is such an important fabric. And I can tell you to a person that's just simply not happening in other spaces.
The fact that the soundtrack could stand alone as its own work of art is something to shoot for.
Ultimately, what we're creating is this sound that's familiar, but not quite.
Finding a middle ground was really fun, and I think it led us to something really, really cool. At the beginning, we were given a list of emotions, and as well as characters and places, and that's all we were given. Go have ideas.
So we started writing without even seeing any video or film yet.
It was cool it was difficult.
We wanted to create a library of music that we can come back to and use not just in episode 1, but throughout season 1.
That was an interesting process and totally new to me, but I like where things landed.
So in the series, we have this very unique instrument that's never been heard or seen before, the whistle harp.
Lily girl, how about something with a little more giddy up?
Like a pirate shanty? Maybe the one about Squidbelly the Wide?
Aye, that's perfect.
So since there's no instrument that plays both of them together, and it would be really hard to do that because you just don't have enough fingers to do that. You could maybe get 3 notes out of each. Actually, I should try that. I can literally play 3 notes together, so whistle harp theme would be a little boring. Well, we're going to have to combine a whistle and a harp.
It's working!
I'm most excited about the theme we got for the fangs. And I think Ben Shive actually had the idea of taking a slide, like a finger slide, and getting this really old, beat up guitar and have this metal finger slide and just play the melody, but just make it nasty and gritty. It would sound bad in any other context, but worked really, really well for this. But this is disorienting, this is off, and I think that's why it works so well for the fangs.
You know, we're dealing with different worlds and different environments. We've had some directions that we've talked about, and maybe there's a little bit of inspiration from those, but then we also say, no, but let's create our own sound.
How many instruments, if you had to guess, do you think you have in this room?
I mean, I've got tens of thousands of dollars of equipment in here, and I'd have to add it all up. Over 100 Irish whistles and ethnic flutes hanging on a wall over there. I've got about 25 brass instruments hanging on the ceiling, and I've got stringed instruments and plucked instruments like ukuleles back here. And I've got all these shelves of percussion instruments. So I love just having all this creativity right here in front of me. And I know some people, it gives them the jitters because they're like, I could never work in someplace that cluttered. It needs to be cleaner than that, but I kind of thrive on this.